Hello! Today we're going to be using this little truck out of the Christmas Valley Transfer from IOD's Winter 2022 release. So I got this little frame or picture thing from, I think it was a thrift store. And I'm going to use the little truck from IOD's 2022 Christmas Transfer, the Christmas Valley. So that's what we're going to be putting on here. So, but first, I'm going to take these off because I want to seal it first with Big Top so that I'm sure the transfer will adhere properly. Okay, now hopefully I don't lose those. Put them somewhere where they don't hopefully get lost. And we're going to put a coat of Big Top on here. If I can find the Big Top in my stash. Oh, here we go. This will just seal it up. It's very rustic, it's very rough. So this is just going to help that transfer adhere properly. Hopefully. Little bit more. The brush that I'm using is one of the Klingon S series. This is the S50. It's the big one. There is a new SA50 which has an angled bristle. Those are on their way, so I should have them next week. Make sure there's no runs. Okay, I'm going to put this in water so it does not dry on my brush. And once this is dry, we'll be back to do the transfer. Okay, now this is dry, fairly dry. Let's just make sure. With transfers, you have to ensure that your piece is dry and dust free, wax free, all of those things that the transfers won't adhere to. This is a super rustic piece, so just making sure. Try to get this so it's straight. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, your little pusher stick comes in. With every transfer, you get a stick. So we're just rubbing it on here. And even though this is a really rustic chunk of wood, when you're working with wood and putting transfers on, especially furniture or jewelry boxes, You always want to make sure you're using the flat part. You don't want to push with a corner unless it's in a corner, because this will make grooves and dents in your wood. And that's never good. You can't get rid of that then. So I'm just going to go over and make sure I've pushed down the entire transfer. And I can see that it's like parts of it are down and other parts are not. You can see that air bubble that you get between your backing paper and your transfer kind of gets that gray, which is what you want, because you want your transfer to be adhered. Okay, so now we're going to start peeling this back carefully. And you want to make sure that you're not leaving any transfer behind on this paper. So I'm just going to pull it up careful and slowly, making sure that no transfer bits are getting left behind on this backing paper. It's actually adhering pretty good to this. Now see how that's on there? So I'm just going to put it back down and give it another go over with the pusher stick. Just working along with it slowly is the way to go. Don't be in a hurry. Okay, so now this was sitting down there like that, so I'm going to take and I'm going to use this to just burnish that down on there. Trying to get this to adhere to the entire thing. Okay, so now these are individual pieces of wood, and see how that is in there? I'm just going to take my fingernail and I'm just going to push that, and it basically just cracked the transfer, and now it's sitting in that crack, which is what we want. It just works. I'm just pushing on it. As long as your hands are dry and clean, you can use your fingers to burnish this on. That makes sure you're getting really good adhesion of your transfer onto your piece. So on this part, I'm just pushing where that separation is in the wood, and it's kind of doing its own, it's cracking on its own and giving that definition. So it kind of looks like it was painted on. Because as I'm pushing with my finger, the transfer is actually taking the shape of the wooden board, because this is very, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but very, very rustic, very rough. So I'm just going along and I'm really pushing it on there. right. And I pulled out these little pieces of holly, and I'm thinking of putting them just kind of in the corners. Just to add a little bit more. This one has the trees, so maybe I'll just put a little bit. I'm always looking for balance, not necessarily symmetry, but I'm trying to balance the image. So I may just use one, just to kind of fill, there's a lot of empty space here. I don't think I'm going to need this one. Let's just go with this one. Or would this one be better? No. Same process. And this little piece up here, I'm just going to zip that off. My X-Acto knife is obviously not very sharp. And this little piece, I'm just going to wrap around the corner. That little piece of stem was kind of irrelevant, so I'm not going to worry about that so much. So same process, just lifting it slowly, making sure the transfer has adhered. And this little leaf, I'm just going to tuck that right around the edge. Perfect. Now, I'll get this out of my way. We are going to give it another coat of Big Top to seal the whole piece in, to seal the transfer in. And my other brush is in the sink. And you can go ahead and seal your transfer right after you've applied it. You don't have to wait for any, obviously for anything to dry, because there is nothing. I'm just making sure I'm getting into those cracks in the board to seal those edges. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to wait for this to dry, and then we'll put our little clips back on and it'll be good to go. Okay, so it's all dry. We will put these little hooks back on. I decided to use just a screwdriver instead of my big drill. It's probably less aggressive. there. Perfect. And now you can hang a little anything on there, or little pictures or anything. You can give it as a gift. Super quick and easy project using a piece of transfer. And this is just one piece in the transfer. It's an 8-sheet set, so there's all kinds of stuff to choose from. Simple project using, in this case, is a little sign purchased at a thrift store, but it could be any chunk of salvaged wood, some paint, some clear coat, and transfers. Perfect. Thanks for watching.